Hello and welcome to 314 with Patty. I'm behind the camera today and I am here with Dave Stuckey of the Zoar Foundation. Dave and I are just going to have a little chat here about what the foundation is all about. So Dave, how did you get involved with the foundation?
Well, I first got involved, believe it or not, back when it started in 1987. I was one of the people that was on the foundation committee at that time. And I think it was Pastor Akela that had the thought to do that. So I got involved then, and over the years, the foundation has developed into a lot more than it was at that time. And I've been on and off the board at various times.
So what exactly is the foundation?
The foundation is a way for people to give lasting legacies to the church so that we can use funds that maybe the church wouldn't otherwise have available to do things out in the community and the world and just for the church itself. It really has a twofold purpose. We sent a statement to the council in 2009 and set forth the purposes of the foundation. And it's to be an effective instrument by which members of Zoar can create lasting legacies in support of this congregation and its ministries, and it to be a major resource complementing and expanding the church's witness and service to its members, the community, and to the world.
Okay, so people can make a legacy gift to
Yes.
the foundation?
Yes, and it doesn't matter the amount. I mean, we pool the monies together so that they become one big amount of money so that we can do more things for the church. As an example of that, when we started back in 1987, the first year we had a little more than $3,000 in the foundation. And as it grew and especially began growing in the early 2000s when we became an actual separate entity from the church, now we manage over $2 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to make a legacy gift, what would be some of the options that that I could, choose from to do that?
Okay. There's several different ways you can do it. The easiest is just a direct contribution to the Zoar Foundation. And that can be, like I said, can be in any amount. You don't have to have a lot of money if you want to give some money to the foundation. If you give a gift, like at someone's funeral in honor of them and memory of them, and you give it to the Zoar Foundation, we will put that in with our funds, and there are a couple different funds that would go into. One's what you'd call the General Endowment Fund. We also have an operating expense fund that we put half of those kind of proceeds into. May I explain that a little bit later? Because the other ways to do it, if you want to give a gift in your will, people give things in their will. Some people take out life insurance policies that upon their death, a certain amount of money would go to Zoar. There are real estate gifts. We've received real estate from people before. You could give stocks and bonds. You could set up different kind of annuities or trusts. And I would suggest that if you want to make a significant gift, that you first talk to your financial advisor, and also maybe talk to your lawyer to make sure you get it drawn up the way you want. And then if you want to talk with someone on the foundation, we'd be glad to sit down and talk with you.
So could I specify how a legacy gift is to be used?
Yes, you can. That would be a restricted gift. It would be one that we would have to follow whatever your instructions were. There's a certain amount of money you'd have to give before you can do that. I forget exactly what that amount is right now, but we don't want somebody giving $100 and saying, because it's hard to keep track of all those things. But it's, in a way, it's really not necessary to do that, because we get requests from people on all kinds of things. And I think that the church itself, committees ask us for things, and they do a good job of covering all kind of different areas. But if you want to give a restricted gift, you can. We do have one significant restricted gift that we deal with, and that's called the Kerfus Fund, and that is to be used for youth and young adults under 25 years and under at Zoar. And that was given by a man by the name of Philip Kerfus, probably about 10 years ago now. That funds a lot of our youth activities now. So that actually we really don't need, quote unquote, more money into that account right now because it's doing well.
Okay.
We have one other restricted account fund, and it was one of them. It was the one that was set up back in 1987 when we originally started all this. It's the Kazmaier Fund for Theological Education, and that's to be used for Zoar members who want to go in to the Lutheran ministry.
Okay.
And so that's a restricted gift, and we've had several people go through the Trinity Seminary with money from that account. And currently there is one of our members that is going to the seminary. It's Connor, and I apologize, can never remember. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm sorry. And before that, we hadn't had anybody for quite a while.
Okay.
But yes, you can give a restricted gift if you want.
Okay, so you did mention that you get a lot of requests.
Yeah.
So that's a great segue into the grants that are offered. And I know that there is a grant deadline coming up the end of this month, March 31st. Could you speak a little bit about the grants?
Yes, yeah. That is the other, aside from getting and managing money, we then do give out money consistent with and pursuant to the request. The requests for the General Endowment Fund need to be in by either March 31st or September 31st. 2 times a year we look at those, and there's a form that you can get to on the Zoar Church website. If you click on the foundation, there's a form to fill out. And there's also, at this time of year, we get requests for the Kerfus Fund, for the youth funds. We have 4 times a year that we look at those. And again, March 31st is one of them, and then every quarter we look at those. So if you look at the request application online, you'll see that you need to give, the name of the sponsor. It has to be somebody from Zoar or a committee from Zoar that makes the request. So if someone that you know has some charity or whatever that you think would be good for Zoar to get involved with, don't have that person, maybe that's not a member, make the request, but you go ahead and fill it out, or talk to a committee and have them fill it out. And then we want to know what it's going to be used for. If you're asking for money, we want to see a breakdown of the expenses that you're going to have, and what the purpose of those is.
Sure.
So then we look at those and make a decision. I could say within a couple weeks after the end of those deadlines, and
Okay.
we want people to also then verify, report back to us what they did with the money. And if you don't use it all the money you asked for, it goes back into the fund.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you share maybe some of the grants from the past that the foundation has awarded? Maybe what it was used for?
Yes, I can. And I'm looking at some records from 2024. 2024, we approved some requests for the youth funds for an end of the year Sunday school event where they honored the teachers of the Sunday school. For the youth, we've helped sponsor trips to the youth convention that I think they're there every 3 years. Sometimes they go on missions in the off years. We've done funds that help for that. We've done some things for middle school retreat, family fun night, things like that
Okay.
for the youth. And for the adults, we've done some things. One that's come up the last couple of years is the ugly Christmas sweater event that brings people together. There's a retreat in the fall that's coming up that's both youth and adults. We've sponsored some things to help in South America, different places in South America. Quilts, the Lutheran, was that Lutheran Welfare Fund, I believe it is. It has asked for the money, and they do quilts. Some of the women in the church make quilts for that. The yoga program that's going on, we've approved funds for that. So you name it, we do it. But if you're on a committee at Zoar, come up with some creative ideas that may be outside the church budget that you'd like to try to do.
Okay, wonderful. So as we wrap up here, if someone is interested in learning more about the foundation, more about the grants, or making a gift to the foundation, what's the best way for them to get in touch with someone?
I think the best way first is, again, go back to the website, the church website, and click on foundation, and you'll see some information in there. And like I said, the applications are in there. If you need more information, contact the church, and they'll get you in touch with one of the members of the committee. And I can tell you who the members are, but I'm not going to get out all kind of phone numbers. There's me, Kim Nilsson, Branch Springer, Jeff Abke, Dustin Brown, Scott Williams, Pastor Melanie, Pastor Paul, Megan Erickson, Eric Heinzman, and Carl Habekosser on the committee this year, on the foundation board this year.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave. Again, this is Dave Stuckey. We really appreciate you taking the time to educate us about the foundation, and we look forward to learning more as we highlight the foundation this month here at Zoar.
Thank you. Thank you.